Hey guys, it's Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, and today we're reviewing an actually very surprising product, a collaboration between Brian Hennessy at SquatMax-MD, he's the inventor, and Titan Fitness. This is one of the few collaborative products that Titan has done, and it may be the best. Okay, let me show you how it works. This is the standalone version, very simple. Take the plate, put the plate on. You don't have to worry about dropping it. At least I don't think so, I drop it all the time. You take the belt, wrap the belts around, zoop, zoop. Then you attach to the carabiner and you're ready to go. When you want to squat, you basically get your position. As you'll notice, it's pretty much a 45-pound plate between your legs. You then push these out. Nice sound, by the way, also, knurled goodness. And then when you're ready, you squat, like that. This one actually has a little bit of a unique feature in that it has an attachment point. So when you're ready to lock them, just like that. This is the unique part. This one has a seat pad for seated belt squats. And one of the unique things about it is you can pull it up without the pop pin. Listen to this. Oh, it's like going up a roller coaster. Okay, and then when you're ready, unlock, you can squat down and then back up. Very simple. And when you're done, lock it down, unscrew. This is the rack attached version. So it has pretty much all the same things except for the attachment points, but allows you to do it against a rack. So when you're ready, you lock it on. By the way, that's a 100-pound plate, no big deal. Peach emoji. Then unlock, squat. This one allows you to get higher up because you can adjust it up and down, which allows you to get greater depth. You can use this obviously for things like squats, but if you'd like, you can also use it for lunges and other movements as well. When you're done, lock it in, take it off, do some sick, and then you're done. If you'd like to purchase it, check it out at the link below the like button. Titan will pay us a small commission, but won't increase the cost that you pay. This video is brought to you by Factor. Factor is a subscription meal delivery service that uses registered dietitian recommended meals so you can hit your macros. If you'd like to sign up for Factor, use the code GGR50 at the link below the like button to save 50% off your first box. This is how it works. They send you the meals, you take them, poke holes in them, you then put them in your microwave, pop, press start for 2 minutes. Factor is designed specifically for people with a busy lifestyle. I have multiple businesses, I have multiple kids, 4 actually, also multiple wives. No, I'm just kidding. But I have a lot going on, and so sometimes it's very hard to focus on actually making meals, eating meals, planning my macros. Factor is designed specifically for people that have a lot going on, but still want to fuel their workouts and their life. Factor has a ton of different options, so you never get tired of the food. Actually, 34 plus different meal options for weekly meal options that you can choose from that are fresh, never frozen. In fact, when they send it to you, they send you in a cool pack. Pretty cool, that's insulated and kept cool, so then you can put it in your refrigerator for the week, and then when you're ready to make them, stick them in your microwave or your oven, get them out and start to eat them, like this. That's really good. I'm not good at that pesto. Dang. Check the link below the like button and use the code GGR50 to save 50% off your first box from Factor. Okay, so I have tested and reviewed the SquatMax-MD in the past, and I don't want to bury the lead here, but if you are a squatter and the primary purpose for you having a belt squat is to belt squat, I know that sounds kind of funny, but a lot of the belt squats that are out there, including the one that I use the most, the Rogue Rhino, I use it for a lot more than belt squats, but if you're looking for a belt squat that is designed specifically for belt squats, this very well may be the best belt squat for belt squatting, but you have to watch the rest of the video to find out. Okay, so we're reviewing 2 different models here, and this is a collaborative product between Brian Hennessy, which by the way, he has been an absolute thorn in my side. He tags me in all of his Instagram posts, calls me out on all sorts of stuff. I just wanna say, I'm not a huge fan of the guy, just saying that. That said, I don't let that bias the reviews, okay? Either way, positive or negative, you'll just have to find out, but I'm serious, dude. Don't tag me in another post. Okay, but we have two different models of SquatMax-MD here. We have the standalone and the rack attached. It's kind of funny, over the years it started as a standalone, he then came out with a rack attached, he removed the rack attached, and then now has the standalone. Now Titan is bringing out both of them. But this isn't just the normal SquatMax-MD. They've gone through and refined many different options and many different parts of this to make it more in line, I think, with what most people expect from a product of this stature. Before I get into the actual product, the nuts and bolts, I want to talk about the performance, because that really, with this product and most home gym equipment, is what's most interesting and what you should know most about. The reason that this is such a unique belt squat is because it's designed after and most similar to the original belt squat that Louis Simmons came up with, which was essentially a hole in the floor. It's pretty much all it was, is a hole in the floor, they attached a belt to it, and you had plates and you just drop down and up. This is really, it's that, but it has one simple yet extremely significant component to it. It's honestly so significant and so simple. It's one of those things that's like, why didn't I come up with this? Basically, it has a loading pin that has a hole in it, and in the bottom of it inserts another rod, allowing you to have a natural feeling belt squat that moves side to side, but not so much so that it's unwieldy or unsafe. This allows you to do a true vertical line of drive belt squat, which is unique and different from pretty much every other belt squat out there. Think of the lever belt squat, it's on a pendulum, so it pulls you forward and back, causing shearing forces, and it's just not as ideal. Think of the cable belt squat, say from Westside Barbell, their athletic platform, or the Rogue Rhino, which is personally the one that I use the most. I agree, it doesn't have as vertical a line of a pole because it has a central fixed point, whereas this can move side to side. That is what's most unique and significant about the SquatMax-MD, and Titan has essentially partnered with them on the platform and on the design and basically brought it to level 11. Okay, so there's much more information I could say on the performance of this and how it actually feels to use. I'll just summarize it with this. For squatting, this is the best feeling belt squat in the world. Just no caveats. If you're a belt squatter, there is not another belt squat on the market that feels as natural and as good as this one. And I've used literally all of them. This is the best feeling belt squat. And I've thought that for years. I've said that for years, despite this guy really annoying me. I've said this is the best feeling belt squat in the entire world. The question is not which one feels the best. The question is, did they bring up the production level on the actual product to make it worth recommending? And does it have enough versatility to make its way into your home gym, which I'm gonna answer. Okay, now to the actual build and kind of construction of the product. Titan basically went to the drawing board and said, how can we make this more in line with our design aesthetic? How can we improve processes? How can we make it more modular? How can we make it easier to set up for home gym owners? And I think generally they've accomplished this. Okay, this is how the frame is built. You can tell by looking at it. It's using 11 gauge 3x3 uprights with 1-inch holes, which are the same uprights essentially that they're using on their Titan series uprights on their squat racks. I absolutely hate that name, by the way. Self-titled. Titan series. Just because you put all caps in a name doesn't mean it's like cooler or something. But what that means is, number one, this can hold 1,000+ pounds. Literally, I think they rate it for 1,300 pounds, but I would have no worry about putting as much weight as you could ever squat on this. And by the way, this isn't like a pit shark where you put 1,000 pounds on and it feels a felt load of like 200 pounds. No, this feels like it is on there. So if you're a 1,000-pound squatter, you could be squatting around 1,000 pounds. But most of you guys, you're gonna be squatting, 300, 400, if that's what you're doing with the bar. You're not gonna be belt squatting that much more with this. So the weight load that it can hold is tremendous and is gonna be more than anybody can squat. But that also allows there to be modularity, because if you look on the outside of the frame, there's holes throughout, which I love. Why are there holes? Well, we don't really even know yet. I think that's one of the great things about some of these products. This is what Apple does all the time. They'll ship a product out in the world, they'll see how people use it, and then they'll implement that feature. That's how this is. It's like, all right, we're gonna throw this into the home gym community. What sort of things are they going to use the holes on the side for? They'll find out. Then they'll start marketing that way. I actually love when products are done that way. And this one, I love that they added holes, because it's not like obvious what you're gonna use them for yet, but with so many attachments that are out there, there may be quite a few reasons. Now, with the two different designs, one is rack attached, one is standalone. Both are very similar. These are the differences. The rack attached version, as the name suggests, is designed to be used on a rack, and it can be used on multiple width racks. It's designed to be used for just about any ecosystem, from Rogue, Titan, Rep, even thinner than that. Whoever you want to use, it's going to work. We've tested it. Also, they've updated the rack attached version with a kickstand, so it's easy to put in there. Honestly, like just the fit and finish and feeling of getting it on the rack is nice. What I will say, and I say this about most rack attached products that are heavy, if you're planning on moving this in and out of your rack a lot, you probably want to get the standalone version. The reason being, the standalone version offers some extra features. It's not that much more expensive, but I just don't foresee people moving this thing in and out of the rack all the time. It's just kind of it's pretty heavy. It's kind of annoying to do. Some of you will be fine doing that, but I'm somebody, when I get in my gym, like I like efficiency and speed. I want to spend as much time as I can working on my body, as little time as possible setting up the gym. So if you're like me, you're probably going to want the other version. But I will say the rack attached version is very well done. It has height adjustments, so you can get even greater depth, but it's missing one of the most significant features, and one of the features that I most love about the standalone version, and I can't really understand, like, Titan, why didn't you add this to the rack attached version? And that is the acceptance holes for the attachments. Right now, the standalone version comes with a belt squat attachment, a belt squat seat that sits on the back, and it is glorious. It is very nice. It's very well done. It's using their hefty vinyl. It's using a really nice foam. It's actually a very smart design with the way they attached it. It's very similar to the seat pad on the Blackwing, where you can adjust it up without pulling a pop pin, but then it locks in. So that means you can drop it to the bottom, you get on the belt squat, you adjust your depth, and if you need to go higher, you simply lift it up and it locks in. I love that feature. I will say the pop pins on all the sides for the attachments are very big, oversized, similar to what we see on the Titan Nemesis. They're the red anodized with the like little Titan logo on the side. Nice pop. I mean, just the fit and finish on this, like, I want to be careful about saying this, but I think this is the best produced Titan product I've ever reviewed. Like, honestly, I think this is the best fit and finish as well as performance product that Titan has come out with yet. And I've tested a lot of their products, but they did it on this one. Like, seriously, like, this is good. Another thing, and they actually mentioned they did this because of our reviews, the handles that unlock the plates and allow you to go in a vertical drive, they're actually knurled. So it's like a simple thing. A lot of people may not even notice, but when you use it, it feels really freaking good, and I'm really like that they have the addition. Some small, but it's worth talking about because they listened to our reviews. Now, there are a couple other refinements that they've added to this. There's laser cut logos all throughout. Isn't a freaking sticker on the thing, which you guys know I like. They're using textured black powder coat. If I was gonna offer maybe a little bit of a change, I would have loved to see diamond plate on the top. It just adds a little bit more grip, but the textured powder coat adds enough grip that you're not gonna be slipping, so you don't have to worry about your stability. Also, they do include an adapter plate that allows you to squat with 25 pounds in case you want a narrower stance. For me, most of the time when I'm using these, I just use them with the 45-pound plates, and the stance is narrow enough for me. There are band pegs on the bottom that allows you to attach band pegs for accommodating resistance. Most of the time when I'm using these, I add bands. They feel great. I just leave them on there. Also, there are these little tabs on the bottom. I cannot figure out what these tabs are for. They're not listed anywhere on their site. Also, I can't find anywhere that says anything about them, but there's two of them. I don't know if they're for locking the pin in the bottom or something like that, but if you know, let me know in the comments. It's just not obvious to me during testing. Now, another thing, this could be overlooked, but I think it's worth shouting out. They include a belt with the belt squat. Sounds funny, like, of course they include a belt with the belt squat. That's not true. A lot of companies don't include belts with their belt squat. You have to buy them extra, or they throw in the freaking cheapest belt that you can find. No, they're using the same multi-belt design that Brian came up with years ago. Rogue has a version of it, and it is my favorite belt, the Rogue version. This one is not as good as that one, but functions the same, and to be free, I'd say it's really good. So I actually really like the belt. I like the addition. I will say the carabiner absolutely sucks, though. I wish they would have replaced that, but minor. Okay, so all in, the rack attached version is $1,300. The standalone is $1,500. You're like, wow, that's a lot of money. I mean, it is, but the amount of steel that's involved here, and when you compare it to other options, I think this is better, vastly better than say the Bells of Steel option. I think this is vastly better than say the J-Squat from Sorinex. It's on par with the Rogue Rhino. I prefer the Rogue Rhino because I'm using it for more cable work, but if you're belt squatting, like this is the recommendation, if your primary goal is to belt squat and you have the space, this is the best. They not only took a great design, they just made it freaking better. I've reviewed so many Titan products and I've never been this hot or positive on one of their products. This thing is good. And a lot of it's because of the performance, but it's also because man, I hope they keep bringing like this level of quality, like the welds and the powder coat and the laser cut. I mean, it's just really well thought through, very well engineered with some like highlights that are pretty thoughtful, like the knurled handles, also the seat pad that adjusts. The biggest things that are my worries with it, number one, I wish they had the attachment points on the rack attached version. Can't understand why they didn't include that. I would have preferred diamond plate on the top, but again, that's minor, may have increased the price. I would like to see more attachments. Right now, all I see is the belt squat pad, but I know they've had seal row pads and things like that, so it'd be sweet for them to come out with those. But overall, I'm a fan. If you can afford it, you have the space, I would definitely recommend the standalone version first, but this is my opinion. One of the questions you may be thinking is, because I like the Rogue Rhino so much, is can this have the versatility of the Rogue Rhino? I would say no, not the same versatility, but it can be more versatile. If you get the rack attached version, you could technically attach a belt and do pull-ups with it. So you could do weighted pull-ups with it. You could maybe figure out a way to run a cable to it, and then you could do some lat pull downs and stuff like that. I don't think it's quite as versatile of all the components as the Rogue Rhino. I know the dude's gonna tag me in some post saying that you can use it for all the same stuff. I mean, maybe. He's a little bit biased. He started the company, but I don't think it's as versatile as the Rhino personally, but if you want to get creative, there are ways to get creative with it. If you'd like to see a more in-depth comparison on belt squats, specifically this one versus any others, or a roundup, we've never done that actually, like basically where we bring them all in and compare all of them, let me know in the comments and we'll get to it. But this has been Coop from Garage and Reviews. I'll see you next time. Peace.